A big week coming up for the Winnipeg Jets, a team that has big holes to fill. And Kenny, what do you think their biggest issue is heading into this week?
Yeah, Sean, there's a few things on the to-do list for sure, but I think resolving the Patrik Laine situation would be high on the list. That's not to say that a trade is inevitable, but given how much his name has been out there on the rumor mill, I think that the Jets are definitely listening to offers on their star right winger, and I think this all comes down to usage. We've talked about it a lot in the past. I think that Patrik Laine has grown his game a tremendous amount and is looking for more, and unless the Jets are willing to give him those first line minutes, I think we're at a bit of an impasse. So I think the Jets are definitely listening on Laine. That's not to say a trade will have to happen, but because they still have 3 years of team control. But I think there is a chance that a Patrik Laine blockbuster happens at some point here, whether it's before the draft or before free agency remains to be seen.
Well, you got to say that if they move Laine, they're going to expect something really big in return. So a blockbuster, it definitely would be. Kenny, the Winnipeg Jets over the last 10 years, one of the best drafting teams in the NHL. What do you think they're focusing in on this week?
Yeah, for me, Sean, it's best player available. Obviously, we know there are holes at center and defense, and a lot of fans may think it would be natural to just hone in on those positions. But if a guy like Alexander Holtz becomes available at the 10th overall selection, if the Jets stay there, I think he would be on the radar for the Jets as well. Local product and Seth Jarvis is a guy who's getting a lot of play here in the last little bit after having an excellent season with the Portland Winterhawks. But Anton Lundell is another Finnish center who would be on the radar for the Jets. I know a lot of Jets fans would love to see Jake Sanderson, but I don't see him dropping to 10th overall.
Kenny, after we get past the draft, we get into free agency shortly after that. The Jets, not traditionally a very active team on free agency. Maybe 1 year they got a little busy when they picked up Dmitry Kulikov and Steve Mason when they had holes they needed to fill. They have holes they need to fill now. Do you see them being a little more active this year than in years past, especially with the cap space they have?
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. I think that the fact that they went after those two players at the time, they maybe didn't work out as well or in the same way as they had thought initially. I do think the Jets will be active both in free agency and in trades. I mean, that's the other part of it. If you can't lure a high-end free agent like Alex Pietrangelo, then you look at a player who may be available from one of those cap-strapped teams. So I do expect the Jets to be active. Dylan DEMELO remains a possibility for the Jets, but as a first-time pending UFA, I think he's going to have to listen to the offers that are out there. We expect teams like the Vancouver Canucks and Toronto Maple Leafs will be among the many that are interested in his services. So if the Jets want to retain DEMELO, they'll have to win a bidding war.
Well, as we've said in the past and earlier in this conversation, the Jets are a team with holes to fill. If they want to reopen that Stanley Cup window, their fans will be watching anxiously to see if this is the week they get that done. Thanks, Kenny.
You're welcome.